And welcome to a new episode of The Simpsons Did It. I'm your host, Steven Skolansky.
And I'm your co-host, Robert Skolansky.
And this week we're going to get all pretty.
Ooh, I like feeling pretty.
I know, we're going to see if we can win a scepter and a crown and be the prettiest girl on the block.
I mean, I'd rather take a blimp ride, but...
Yeah, going on a blimp ride would be pretty fun, as long as you're not drunk and, asking to drive said blimp. But
I mean, who want to drive a blimp though?
That would be kind of fun to drive the blimp.
It would be fun. So this week is season 4, episode 4, Lisa the Beauty Queen. So if you couldn't tell by the title of this episode, it is a very Lisa-centric episode.
Yeah, and it's one of those weird ones you wouldn't normally picture a Lisa doing.
No, absolutely not. After, watching hundreds of episodes of The Simpsons, this is definitely a blip on the radar, so to speak, of what Lisa would do.
Yeah.
So... air date, original, Lee aired 10/16/92 in October. So 2 weeks right before Halloween.
Yep,
so
and next week is Halloween.
Yeah.
I mean, it's technically a week early because it'll air on the 23rd.
23rd, yeah.
So,
which is weird because they could have done it on October 30th.
Oh, actually, they did push it. I looked ahead. Shh. But it was October 29th that originally aired, so they must have they took a week off to actually put it at Halloween.
Yeah. So, the recap for this episode. An artist does an unflattering portrait of Lisa, so she enters a beauty pageant to regain self-esteem. I mean, if somebody mocks you for something, you want to prove them wrong.
But, I mean, we'll get to it, but she really shouldn't have taken it personally.
No, she shouldn't have. Chalkboard gag this week. I will not prescribe medication.
Ooh, Dr. Bart?
Dr. Bart.
Ooh,
how is he getting the medication to prescribe it, though?
He stole a prescription pad from Dr. Nick or someone really dumb. I don't think he could have get away with it with Hibbert, but Dr. Nick, I feel like he could have done something, dressed up in a costume or something, be like, hey, Dr. Nick, I need a prescription pad.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Bart would do that.
But but the real question is, what is he prescribing? I mean, it's not like, unless it's
Adderall.
But my guess would be it would be to the older kids, like the kids that would know what drugs are.
What was the drug Bart took in the episode where he had ADHD?
I can't remember, so I'll have to wait till we get to it. It wasn't actually Adderall. It was something, I think, a similar name.
Yeah.
Name to
maybe
it.
He was prescribing that drug.
Maybe. But he probably didn't know it existed yet.
Maybe. Probably not. The sax solo this week was pretty good.
It was classy. I mean, it went from, like, normally it kind of starts at her chair, like the normal sax information starts at the chair, and then the solo is actually while she's leaving the door. This one, man, we got this jazziness solo from, like, the moment she got up from her chair all the way to the door.
Yeah.
It was pretty good.
I mean, it's Lisa. She's good on the saxophone. Anyways, the couch gag this week. Maggie is sitting on the couch, and the rest of the Simpsons run in, but they run off the reel and have to turn around to sit back on the couch. That is a great, honestly, that is a pretty good gag. I enjoy that, being TV and film person. Because I don't think, the funny thing is, I don't think the younger generation would get that reference.
No, I mean, that's a cartoon, right? Like a Disney, not Disney, but like a Warner Brother animation, like Bugs Bunny type of joke. And the other funny thing I want to mention is, how the hell did Maggie get to the couch? Doesn't Marge usually carry Maggie in?
No, Maggie cartwheels in. She does whatever she wants.
But I'm saying the majority of them. The majority of them, Maggie's not running in. I think she's being carried in by Marge.
Maybe she was already sitting there. Maybe she crawled her way in before the rest of the Simpsons got home.
They just took forever getting out of the cars and off their bike and skateboarding in. And
dude, babies are magical creatures. They can get from one place to another without you even realizing it.
No, I think that's snails.
Oh, is that snails?
Yeah, my fish tank has a couple snails in it, and like they'll be in one spot, and then I'll look somewhere like 5 minutes later, and they're on the other side of the tank, and I'm like, how does the hell does a slow ass snail get to the other side of the tank in like 5 minutes?
Well, it's in water, so maybe the water helps move it along a little bit faster.
Maybe. I guess I never sit there and watch it.
Yep.
So this week we open up on Springfield Elementary School Carnival. Which
God,
I think most schools do have a carnival, and isn't that normally it's probably a fall thing? So we're in the fall, so it's probably like their fall carnival.
I think our elementary school did it in the spring.
Yeah, at the end of school. That was the other thing I was thinking. Is normally they do it at the end of the school year, but at Springfield, they might do a couple.
Also, why are you trying to figure out what time of year it is? It's The Simpsons.
Yeah, well,
it's whenever they want it to be.
It's whenever they want it. No, but I feel like now season 4 and maybe through 12-ish, I think they actually tried doing that time frame thing, so that way they got Thanksgiving when it needed to be. But the seasons 1 through 3, yeah, there was zero time frame.
Don't forget, it wasn't there an episode? Wasn't like the first season of this episode like the last day of school?
Yeah, and then
they went to summer camp.
Yeah, and then Homer the Heretic. No, that was the last day of school, and then Homer the Heretic. Apparently, there was a severe wind chill that just so happened.
Yeah, because now granted, in Homer the Heretic, I think it actually moved seasons because he set his house on fire and there was no snow on the ground,
but it was freezing cold out.
I don't know.
Oh, The Simpsons and your random weather patterns. But yeah, I don't know if you knew this, but Springfield's Carnival apparently is the happiest place on earth.
No. I think Disney has something to say about that.
Yeah, so a lawyer and a pair of goons confront Principal Skinner at the school, just below a banner of the event, and the lawyer's like, Principal Skinner, the happiest place on earth is a registered Disneyland copyright. Well, gentlemen, it's just a small school carnival. And it's heading for a great big lawsuit. You made a big mistake, Skinner. And Skinner's like, well, so did you. You got an ex-Green Beret mad. And then Skinner starts beating the crap out of the goons and kicking the lawyer in the chest. And then one of the goons literally just runs off. And then Skinner takes the lawyer's briefcase and hucks it at the escaping goon and knocks him out.
And he's an ex-Green Beret, as we find out.
Yep. And then Skinner,
he's good at that.
And then Skinner does a really good James Bond impression. Copyright expired.
Is that a Bond, or is that the guy from the guy from CSI Miami? Robinson Crusoe?
I've never seen that show, but no, I think it's James Bond.
Probably is. Well, considering CSI Miami didn't come out until the late 90s.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Skinner is, we've learned, it's like, I think we mentioned this before, we're really learning Skinner's backstory here. A lot of it, him being trapped in a tiger cage as a POW and just his PTSD, and now he's kicking lawyers' asses. I mean, it's I think they've done a really good job with Skinner and kind of building up his character.
Yeah, they have.
And he could throw a briefcase pretty damn well. I don't think I could throw a briefcase like that.
Well, again, he's an ex-Green Beret.
Yep. Yeah. And so, I don't know, are Green Berets good at throwing things? I thought they were more good at tactical or
yeah, why wouldn't he be good?
Well, I think it was short range combat, kicking and punching.
They can throw things.
Can they?
They still got to be excellent marksmen.
Okay, with a gun, maybe not a briefcase, but
grenades,
yeah. So we cut to the what are those called? Carnival games. And we get actually one of my favorite carnival games. I'm really, really good at these things. Is the filling the water balloon by shooting the water in the little dot in the center of the circle. And then basically it either blows up a balloon. Some carnivals, you kind of raise a thing up to the top. Whoever gets to the top wins. Well, Nelson apparently thinks this is dumb and just squirts Martin with it instead.
I wholeheartedly 100% agree with Nelson.
Now,
Nelson once for president.
Now I know the ones at Six Flags Great America in Chicago you can't unfortunately shoot the water at them.
No.
But I have been to some really crappy carnival ones where it's on an actual like hose thing. So theoretically, you could spray the people. But I think at the really high end parks, they did this so that you couldn't spray anyone. And then Bart has an unsanctioned 3-card Monte table.
Sure does. Yeah, of course he does.
I know, right? I'm glad Bart knows 3-card Monte. That's really, really funny.
I mean, it's not that hard of a game to learn.
No, but you have to be quick with your hands, though. And I don't know, I guess, how quick Bart is with his hands.
Yeah.
But yeah, Skinner comes up. I don't think I authorized this. He's like, well, gentlemen, we'll see you later. And he throws a smoke bomb down, and you got a cloud of smoke, and he's off.
Yep. I think Bart should never get into magic because I feel like he would turn that life into a life of crime.
Yep. Oh yeah. Well, yeah, it's against the law, but you still see him in. I know there were 3-card Monte tables in DC when I visited, kind of on the mall.
Oh yeah. New York had them too.
New York had them, yeah. So I don't know if they're still there. I don't know if they've really cracked down on that sort of thing or not.
Probably not.
But another one of the games, carnival games, is the Guess Your Age and Weight, which, once again, I killed at Six Flags at this because A, I don't look my age, and B, I don't look my weight. So I won all the time at this. And I honestly don't quite understand why these are still, I mean, I know some of them are guess your age within like 3 years, and then some of them are like guess your weight within like 10 pounds. So I feel like, I guess maybe it's not too much of one of those, rigged carnival games. I was able to do it, but just based on how I could probably still do it. I guarantee you no one thinks I'm 30. I could walk to one of those things. They're not going to think I'm 38. I'm in my 20s all the time.
Well, before we get to the guess your age and weight, we got Willie selling some haggis.
Yeah. So Willie thinks haggis is an amazing Scottish delight. So he's like, get your haggis right here. Chopped heart and lungs, boiled in wee sheep's stomach. Taste as good as it sounds. Good for what ails ya. And then he pauses and he kind of bows his head like, okay.
Well, if you look at the scene... Well, you look at the scene, he kind of looks like he's in the middle of nowhere.
I know. Probably because
nobody
Skinner,
there.
Yeah, probably because Skinner was like, no, Willie, you are not setting up your haggis booth next to all of our food trucks or food stands.
Yeah, because it probably smells bad.
Yep. Oh, yeah. I'm sure it smells awful. And so at the back to the Guess Your Age and Weight stand, the guy guesses Homer's age at 53 years old.
Jesus.
And 420 pounds.
Okay, I get that it's a joke, but jeez.
I mean, bald head, big beer belly. I mean, maybe, but 420 pounds, probably not. The age, maybe. But Homer's actual age is 36. And his actual weight is 239. And Homer is 36 in this season. And we learn that he's 38 and 39 in season 8. So,
yeah,
the Simpsons don't age, but they sort of do.
Or maybe Homer just didn't remember how old he was.
Right.
Because I could have sworn during his birthday episode he turned 38.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay. I know we talked about it. I guess we'd have to go back and check it out. Unless this episode happened before they paused their ages.
Maybe. I don't know.
It's like a flashback episode. Only it's not. I don't know.
It's
Maybe
not.
Or the writers completely forgot how old Homer was when they wrote this episode.
That's a very good possibility.
Yeah, they forget a lot of things here and there.
Yes.
So then Bart walks up to the Paralyzer ride, which good name for a ride, I think.
Yeah.
But what's not good about it is Otto apparently is running this ride. Mm-hmm. But I see an Otto can be a carny too. Bart dares Otto to make it go faster. Okay. He's like, Otto, man, I dare you to make it go faster.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, Bart, dude. And then one of the rockets flies off, hits the school. And I was like, oh, I'll be in Mexico until this blows over. And just to let everyone know, so if you're watching this episode before, or if you've seen this episode, after you've heard our podcast, go check it out. As we go throughout this episode, every time we get a shot of the school, the rocket ship is actually still stuck in the school.
That's kind of funny. It's good attention to detail.
Yep.
So then, so now we see Milhouse, wandering the grounds. And this scene bothers me, like this whole sequence of events, because first of all, so Milhouse sees Jimbo's spook house. First of all, it's a rickety shack.
Was it Willie's shack? It wasn't Willie's shack, right?
It might have been Willie's shack that they took over. So it's a shack. It's not even near the carnival grounds. And it's named after a bully. Why would you go in?
I don't know.
But why? So he goes in. He gets beat up. Also, the other question
is... He gets his lunch money taken away, too.
Yeah. My other question is, why is he wearing a Boy Scout uniform?
Well, okay, so I know it's next season, but we get the Boy Scouts in the Hood episode where Bart gets high on a squishy and joins the Boy Scouts.
Correct.
Was Milhouse already in the Boy Scouts in that episode? Do you remember?
So. Okay, he might have. But here's the thing: we don't know that.
Well, no,
why
but
is
now
he wearing this? Why is he wearing this as everyday dress?
Maybe that he had a Boy Scout meeting after school. Maybe this is after school. The school carnival would maybe happen after school, and after that, he has to go to his Boy Scout meeting, and so
he's wearing no context though.
But there doesn't have to be. As we learn later. Ralph's not wearing his blue shirt, so maybe Milhouse just wants to wear his Boy Scout uniform.
No, that is an animation error on the Ralph thing. So then Milhouse comes out all disheveled after getting beat up, and Bart asks, "Oh, is it scary?" And Milhouse says yes, and Bart goes, "Why would Milhouse and Bart are best friends? Why wouldn't Milhouse stop him? Like, don't go in there. Bullies are in there. They're going to beat you up and take your lunch money."
Maybe Milhouse is still slightly pissed at Bart for the whole lover, the Samantha Stanky thing.
No, they made up.
Yeah, they made up. Maybe there's a slight. But on Milhouse's side, though, if Milhouse says, yes, it's scary, I don't think he's wrong.
I mean, he's not wrong. Why would you warn Bart? Hey, Bart, the bullies are in there. Don't go in there. The scene angers me. It angers me. Yeah. And then Bart goes in, and then he realizes that it was a mistake. Milhouse could have helped him. Milhouse was his best friend.
Yeah.
I would have been pissed.
That was pretty bad.
I would have been pissed. So now we get to the character station, and it's $3, and there's 3 pictures on the little sign. We got Farrah Fawcett, Fonzie, and Darth Vader.
And for those of you that don't know what caricatures are, if you've never been to an amusement park or I don't know. I know some of our age range of everyone that listens is the 18 to 27. So I don't know if you guys are going to carnivals and fairs or not. With your Xboxes and PlayStations and Nintendo systems. But a caricature is meant to be a cartoonization of how the artist feels you should look. So as we saw the Farrah Fawcett, Fonzie, and Darth Vader, they weren't your normal pictures. They were cartoonish images of the artist's representation of them.
Yeah.
And so now we get to Lisa.
Yeah, so Lisa's sitting there, and the guy's like, "Oh, do you like roller skating?" No, everybody loves roller skating. Oh my god! So so the guy draws Lisa, and he's like, he's like, all right, turn around. And she looks up and see, this is another weird thing. Like, everybody sees the picture. Now she's chasing a boy in the cartoon. And people are watching, and that happens sometimes. But like, they're all laughing. But I'm assuming some of those people got their pictures drawn. Like, it's just so weird to like use this jumping off point to get to the rest of the episode.
Well, I mean,
now Lisa, feels ugly after seeing the picture.
Yep. But see, I don't know if Lisa, I mean, I feel like Lisa, why would she sit down if she didn't understand the concept? Like, why would she be getting...
And she would definitely understand the concept.
Exactly. She's smart enough to know that. It's just, it seems really far-fetched, one, to think, okay, I can see how Lisa thinks she's ugly now. She is an 8-year-old girl. She sees the photo. I get that. And if she didn't understand the concept of a caricature, maybe that makes sense. But I feel like she would be smart enough to understand the concept of it, that you're not going to look. I mean, I've been done as a caricature. I've seen other people, and they're definitely.
Oh, I have a Simpson-fied drawing of me upstairs.
Exactly, and I mean, some of the caricatures, I think the artist has to take some consideration in your feel. Now, I bet nowadays, maybe caricatures don't exist because we can't take a joke. But in the 90s, caricatures were hugely popular, and if you were slightly overweight or had a overbite or anything that was characteristically wrong with you, yes, they would overemphasize it as a joke and if you didn't have a sense of humor about yourself, then don't get a caricature. But maybe Lisa didn't quite understand. I don't know where she was in the way of not understanding, but
I think she would have understood it completely.
Yep.
She's smart enough. She would have gotten it. So now we get to the raffle prizes, because what carnival doesn't have a raffle prize? And as Steven said before, we see Skinner on the stand, and the school building has the rocket still in it, which I would hope so. Yes. I would hope so.
Yeah.
So we get the prize. The number one prize was a ride on the Duff Blimp.
Ooh, good prize.
Hell yeah. Yes. So, we cut to Homer because it's Homer, and he imagines riding on the blimp. And he's, driving on the blimp, and he gets a ride to the Super Bowl where people chant for him and have the little cards where it says, "Hi, Homer," and they all switch to Homer's head. And because, he really wants it. And the second place prize is a shoe buffer, because who doesn't want a shoe buffer at home?
But you forgot after we phase out of Homer's daydream, he's chanting Homer to himself. Wasn't he waving too?
No, I think he was just. Might have been waving. So Ned wins the shoe buffer, which good for Ned. But Homer complains about not having a shoe buffer, and Marge reminds him they have one at home, but Homer never uses it. But he's like, I want that one because Ned won it.
Yeah, it's like, but I wanted a shoe buffer.
And so Skinner announces that Homer won the blimp ride, which again serves to move the plot along more than anything else.
But I feel like maybe Homer got a little lucky too.
Well, it's a raffle.
Yeah, I mean, anyone could win a raffle, but Homer won it. But yeah, obviously we needed a plot point to drive the story along. Yeah. So back at home, Lisa's frowning over her caricature, which at this point, why would you still have it? Why? I mean, throw it out, get rid of it. You don't. I mean, if you dislike something, don't keep looking at it. But hey, but yeah, she's sad about it, and Homer comes in and he's like, "Oh, Lisa, this isn't real. It's just how you might look if you were a cartoon character." Which Homer gets it.
Yeah, if Homer gets it, Lisa gets it. But I find it funny because of the fact, this is a cartoon.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And, one other thing that we kind of missed over as Homer, walks into the room, he's singing about riding on the blimp. He's like, "Hey there, blimpy boy, soaring through the sky so fancy free." Because, man, he just really wants that blimp ride. But yeah, Homer tries to cheer her up, and he's like, you're as cute as a bug's ear. Which, sure, Homer, bug's ears are cute. And I like how Lisa responds, fathers have to say stuff like that, as opposed to, bugs are ugly too, Homer. But
some bugs are can be cute, I guess.
Like maybe caterpillars.
But it's a bug. But it's a bug's ear, not a bug itself.
But I don't think bugs have ears. They have antennas.
Those can be cute.
Uh-huh. Yep. And Homer's like, Dad, am I as cute as a bug's ear? No, you're as homely as a mule's butt. And it's like, there, see? Now, to be fair, as a adult talking to an 8-year-old or a kid, yeah, you're kind of supposed to say they're cute. But as a dad talking to a 36 to 39-year-old son, yeah, I could see him changing his mind.
Yeah, I get that.
Because, I mean, I feel like if we asked our parents, hey, are we still cute? They'd be like, you're funny. Maybe they'd say nice things. Who knows? But yeah, so Lisa's like, I want to be alone. I mean, did get it, Girls obviously are different than boys on that level. Girls always seem to have the leave me alone attitude when I'm sad, and boys have the let's play Mortal Kombat and beat the crap out of people.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so Homer goes to Moe's next because he's like, all right, I tried cheering her up. And he's like, hey, Moe, have you ever felt unattractive? No. Which, we definitely learn later on that Moe definitely sees himself as unattractive. And then Barney says, not for 1 second. And then he burps. Yep. Which I think Barney's drunkenness could have that delusional point of, no, I'm not. He has beer goggles for himself. So, so then Homer looks up and sees an ad for the Little Miss Springfield Pageant hosted by Laramie Cigarettes. Now, it was in color. So
yeah,
I can't remember the last time we talked about this, if it was season 2 or not. It had to have been season 2. I don't remember talking about this in season 3 at all. But I know we were going to put a pin in it to see when the TV changed from black and white to straight up color. And we are staring at a straight up color TV at the bar.
Yep.
So Jack Laramie says that he is not allowed to advertise cigarettes on TV, which he's doing as a commercial for a different product altogether. And as a side note, the last cigarette ad was aired in the U.S. on January 1st, 1971. So it's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been 50 years.
That is actually kind of crazy to think about, because cigarettes, I think, aren't they still being advertised on billboards and in magazines?
Oh,
okay.
Well, the funny thing is Richard Nixon is the one that signed this into law.
Yeah, that is kind of interesting because, well, we all know he was a bad guy, so I think he was maybe trying to lighten the load a little bit.
Probably.
And so I like how they're like, he says that Krusty's the host of this pageant, and then they flash a Krusty and he's kind of in a like boarded up room somewhere. Like, I hardly endorse this pageant.
Yeah, so then they're like, oh yeah, the pageant is only $250 to enter. And I guess that's a fair price for a pageant. I don't know. We as brothers are not up on the pageant circuit. I feel like $250 is probably pretty good, but on the back end, it's not like you're winning anything besides a crown and I mean, I guess it could. You also have duties to do. You like the thing, like a lot of the thing with like beauty pageants. I feel like you also have to like represent the pageant and do.
Well, you do, but how is the $200? I guess the $250 gives you fame if you win. I guess I don't quite understand.
I think it also helps pay for the pageant itself.
Well, I'm sure it does. But I feel like as a winner, I guess you kind of get the spotlight shown on you. You probably get it might boost your career resume to have that on there.
So, Homer is like, he looks in his wallet and he's got a picture of Lisa and his blimp ticket ride. So he has no money. No
again,
money.
Once again, can't even afford $250 for a beauty pageant.
No, so Homer offers up his blimp ticket to Barney for $250. And Barney goes, sure, and pulls out a wad of cash. And Homer's like, where did you get all that money? He's like, well, since scientists stopped testing on all those animals, I've really made some money. And I love before the scene ends, he turns around and there's still wires on his head. So, like, how did he get paid before the experiment ended? Usually don't you get paid at the end?
Yeah, usually. Well, I guess, well, maybe it was the end.
Screw this, I'm out of here.
No,
because they would have taken the wires out.
No, well, it's Barney, so who knows?
So, so Barney gives up his, or Homer gives up his blimp ticket. And so now we cut back to The Simpsons. Lisa's looking at a spoon, and she sees her reflection, and she thinks it's hideous. Lisa, you're looking into a spoon. It's a curved surface.
But
it's not flat.
Yeah, she doesn't. She doesn't quite get the caricature, and she doesn't quite understand the spoon.
I don't get it because in future episodes she's so smart.
I know, it's weird.
I hate this.
It's like, well, even in past episodes she's smart too. It's like they pick and choose where they want to use Lisa's brain.
Oh my god. So Marge is like, oh, let me start singing you a song that'll cheer you up. And it's about an ugly duckling. And Lisa's like, are you calling me ugly? And Marge is like, no, you're one of the beautiful ducks that makes fun of the ugly duckling. Oh, that doesn't work either. So the song completely backfires. And Homer comes in and asks Lisa, if she had one wish, what would it be? And Lisa goes, to shut herself off from the world and to never be seen by the human eye again. And Homer's like, well, what's your second if your second wish was to be in a beauty pageant? And Lisa, yells at Homer and runs away. And so, Bart asks Homer if he's seen the girl. I love this. So, Marge kind of admonishes Homer for doing that. And Bart goes, yeah, Homer, have you ever seen the girls in those beauty pageants? And he starts imitating the wolf from the cartoon, Red Hot Riding Hood. Say that 5 times fast. And it's the Texas Avery cartoon with the wolf, or the wolf in the bar and the singer who's beautiful. That's a great reference. I love that reference.
Yeah, it's kind of. I know it's also, now this was also pre The Mask, where they do that with the Jim Carrey movie too. And it's really hard to, so in this, I feel like it changes in future episodes, or the context changes in future episodes where we don't 100% know if Bart's into girls, but this episode really almost solidifies, okay, Bart's into chicks. And
well, we know he's at least into girls. We'll get into later episodes if he's into boys or not. Like, we don't, this is season 4. We'll wait. We'll put a pin in it.
Yeah.
So, Homer truly believes Lisa is beautiful, but Marge is like, but you're seeing her through a father's eyes. And he's like, well, if I could gouge somebody else's eyes out and put them into my head, I would. And Marge's like, oh, that's the most beautiful thing in the world. And
I mean, it is. I mean, but this is another one of those, in a few episodes ago, Homer's bad Homer. In this episode, we got good Father Homer. So it's the funny thing about these first few seasons is it's jumping back and forth. We either get a good Homer to his kids episodes or a bad Homer to his kids episodes.
I think, but here's the thing. Yes, there are episodes where Homer is not the greatest father, but deep down he has a good heart and he loves his children.
Well, yeah.
And he thinks they're beautiful. So, here's the thing. What family doesn't have a dynamic where one parent might be kind of awful to their kids, but love them at the same time? I mean,
yeah. All right. So Marge tells Lisa how Homer was able to get into the pageant by giving up his blimp ticket. She's like, but that's his favorite thing in the world. He's been waiting for that forever. And so she's like, all right, I'll do it. And then we cut to Homer playing with a pickle, pretending it's a blimp, singing his Blimpy Boy song again. It's like, Dad, I will do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, Lisa really came out and was like, I'll do it. And so she's, at the pageant, and they're kind of introducing everyone, and the breadwinner, Amber Dempsey, comes in, and we learn that she has a very good pageant versatility, because in the same week she was Pork Princess, and she was also crowned Little Miss Kosher. Yeah, I'd say that's a little bit versatile if you can win a pork princess and a kosher pageant at the same time.
Yeah.
Don't know quite what the requirements are for each said pageant, but
I mean, if they're beauty pageants, I don't think it matters.
No, does she have to eat the pork and then?
No, it's a beauty pageant,
I guess. So back at the house, she has a photo autographed by her, which I don't even know why she has that. But they say that she's the biggest competition, and she's like the Jack Nicklaus of the pageant circuit. And Marge says that I don't know about that, and then proceeds to daydream about Jack Nicklaus, which, I mean, I guess Marge is,
That's weird.
I don't know.
Just a weird reference to throw in there. Like, I get where they're going with the Jack Nicklaus thing, because he's a really good golfer. But
but she's a really good pageant winner. But that's kind of, I think, what Lisa was going for, where Marge was thinking how hot he was, which I mean, I guess I don't know how to think of that. I mean, I'm more of an Arnold Palmer guy, per se. But maybe Jack Nicklaus in Marge's world was...
Steve, Arnold Palmer is a drink, not a golfer.
He is a golfer.
No, I'm pretty sure he's the guy who invented the drink.
Yeah. He's also a golfer. Look at the bottle. It'll show you all of his accomplishments as a golfer. But then Bart's like, when it comes to and later, I'll teach you the tricks of the trade. Taping your swimsuit to your butt, putting petroleum jelly on your teeth for that frictionless smile, and the ancient art of patting.
So Bart likes to cross-dress too?
That's what. Well, we'll learn later. Apparently, he does. He might have been one of those boys that gets into his mom's closet and tries it out. Well, see, that's the thing. I mean, it's a future episode, but we also learned Bart likes to cross-dress in the wasn't it the Funzo episode? He does that too.
Oh yeah, it is.
So that's why I'm kind of on the Bart's into girls, but also likes to cry. I don't know.
I mean, like, the one thing I do like about this episode is this episode kind of stands up to that test of time thing.
Yeah.
Like, this is kind of an episode where even at today's standards, I think it
might actually fly.
Watchable.
Yeah.
I think it's a very watchable episode. Now, the whole beauty pageant thing, some people might sour on, but as a whole, I think it's a very watchable episode.
Yeah. So then Lisa and Marge head to the Turn Your Head and Coif beauty salon.
I think it's coif.
Coif?
I think it's a coif.
But that's but that's the joke. It's a pretty good
I love it. That's a really good one. I like that one.
Yep. And so we see Lisa upside down with a mask and cucumbers on her eyes. I mean, this seems like a pretty high profile beauty salon. Must be for pageanteers. But
maybe
I love the fact that Homer clearly doesn't have the money to pay for this pageant.
Yeah.
But they have the money to dollar up for a beauty pageant. I mean, I feel like my wife.
Maybe the pageant pays for some of this.
I doubt it. No, I highly doubt it.
Homer worked overtime at.
Right. But I feel like so when my wife goes and gets just a regular haircut, it's like $55. I can't imagine how much this haircut is costing Lisa, and they didn't even have the money to pay for the pageant.
I mean, a haircut for me costs $13.
Yeah, you're a guy and you go to a barber. That's different from a girl that goes to a salon.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
So then we get a montage of hairstyles on Lisa, which are really cool, and they are, let's see, her hairstyles include a Princess Leia bun.
Yep.
a Grace Jones style, which I don't know who that is, but this one I know, Bo Derek cornrows. That was pretty cool. As well as a Marge Simpson beehive.
Yep.
So I'm surprised she didn't go with the Marge haircut.
For a beauty pageant?
Right?
Are you crazy?
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's kind of funny that they went through all those, hairstyles to pick it out. It's kind of the showing off. I mean, the Princess Leia one would have been hot too. She could have gone with the gold bikini for her swimsuit competition and totally won that pageant. But yeah, then we come back to the house and Homer, tells Bart to make a really big fuss about Lisa. And Bart says Lisa will see right through that ruse, just like Grandma's underpants. Oh. But yeah, but Homer's like, when it comes to compliments, women are ravenous, blood-sucking monsters, always wanting more, and more. And when you give it to them, you'll get it back plenty in return. And this is just another one of those sexual innuendos that goes completely over Homer's head.
No, I don't think it goes over Homer's head. I think that's where the writers were leading us, and then they show Homer imagining what he gets in return, and that's him getting a lounge in his hammock while Marge uses a manual mower to mow the lawn.
As good as that sounds, it's just so funny because we all know Homer is kind of a hound in bed.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know that Homer wants to get some. I mean, we've definitely seen that. But the fact that Homer's bigger daydream fantasy is Marge doing things for him.
Yep. Even though she already kind of does some of that stuff for him anyways.
Yeah, she doesn't mow the lawn.
That's true. Well, that's Homer's job.
Yep.
Although he's bad at it, as we've seen in a previous episode where he mows over things.
Yeah.
So, Marge and Lisa come home and Homer compliments Lisa's hair and Bart's like, oh, who's your young friend? Oh, it's Mom. That whole thing. And Lisa and Marge, blush and giggle. And Marge is like, oh, I know two boys who are getting a special dinner tonight. Which, is that steak? Or is money too tight for steak?
At this point, steak. I don't know. Maybe gelatinous, fatty discount steak.
Maybe. So Bart and Homer high five, and Bart asks Homer if he knows anything else about women, and Homer goes, nope, that's it.
Well, if Homer needs to know one thing about women, it's good that it's that one.
Yeah, I mean, look, who doesn't like getting compliments?
Yeah, I know. Everyone likes getting compliments, especially ice cream workers.
Yes, because as we see, Bart takes that advice, goes to the ice cream shop, and he orders a really tiny little ice cream. And the owner or waitress or whoever she is comes by and kind of yells at him for, staying in the booth for so long. And Bart compliments the waitress and she's like, oh, I misjudged you. And brings out this huge bowl of a sundae.
Why was she just carrying around a sundae?
I don't know. Also, that doesn't seem like a good business practice.
I'm going to try that. I'm going to go to a place and compliment the waitress and see if she gives me a free meal.
Here's the thing. I don't think it matters who you compliment because, as you already know, I went to go buy some stuff. I complimented the manager's Bart Simpson socks, and he gave me a small discount on what I bought. So
see, complimenting.
So it's not just women. It's everybody. Everybody loves compliments. But here's the thing: I didn't even compliment his socks because I wanted a discount. They were Bart Simpson socks. And they were awesome.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And he wasn't having the best day. And because I was nice to him, he was nice to me. It's not that hard of a concept.
All right, folks, you know the rules. Be nice to people and good things will happen.
Exactly. So we cut to Lisa and the rest of the contestants practicing their dance routine. And the instructor is like, I said step, step, pivot, step, not step, pivot, step, or whatever it was. Yeah. He goes, I didn't want to write it down because it was long, and I was like, I don't know what the heck is going on. Which I feel like that happens probably a lot at any kind of dance recital or theater or beauty pageant. So practice, people. Practice makes perfect, or close as perfect as you're gonna get. So now we cut to Bart, Lisa, and Maggie in the living room, and Bart, is going through with Lisa, what to do at the end if she's announced the winner. And so he fake announces that Lisa's the winner. I love that he's using a banana as a microphone.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, because I've used it as a phone, but never a microphone. Bart is smart. Or kind of smart. So, he's like, all right, hug the winner, or the loser, which is Maggie in this scenario. And now time to strut down the walk. And Lisa is doing an okay job, but then she falls because she's wearing heels. And Bart's like, let me show you how to do it. Heel, toe. Heel, toe. Heel, toe. And so, Lisa's kind of getting second doubts. And
have you ever tried walking in heels?
God, actually, yes. When I was actually Bart's age. I think I stole a pair of Mom's heels and tried to walk in them.
Yeah, I tried last week. Well. It didn't work.
Well, also, doesn't Shay have smaller feet than you?
Yeah, they were kind of tight on my foot.
So Lisa, starts to have doubts and asks Bart if she thinks she could win. And I love Bart. He's like, man, I think I could win. And he's kind of like, he's got
that so swagger. Good. Yeah.
Yeah, that was fantastic. And so Bart goes, Lisa, this is the hardest thing I'll ever have to do. And he tells Lisa that she is not ugly. And, we've seen in the past Bart not being a good brother. Now, this is kind of a backhanded compliment because he's like, you're not ugly, but he doesn't say she's pretty.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like, now granted, this is the mid-90s, and I feel like the whole, up until, now, the whole macho thing, I kind of had this thing in, college, not using the words, pretty and cute, and, it's just, I don't know, I felt it was weird to say. Now I'm a little bit more over it, and I feel like in the 90s, that was kind of the thing, if you're a guy, call a woman hot.
Yeah.
Smoking, all these, not cute or pretty, which women love to hear. I mean, as a guy, I wouldn't mind being told that I was cute.
Okay. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it.
Can you at least say I'm not ugly?
You are totally ugly. I mean, not ugly.
So, Lisa and Bart hug and they're all happy.
Yep. And so then we go to the ye old off-ramp in, which I feel like we've seen in future episodes. Doesn't Marge and Homer do the night away, not the Babysitter Bandit episode.
Yeah, I think it was the Babysitter.
Was it the Babysitter Bandit episode where they? Okay, yeah, that's where I remembered it from. The ye old off-ramp in. Yeah. So they brought it back.
And guess what?
It's now rat-free.
Woo!
And they also host the Little Miss Springfield pageant tonight. Yeah. And so I'm not going to even attempt.
Say it.
Okay.
Say it.
Prushetta Hasapidaba Pedalon is one of the contestants in this pageant, along with Lisa and a bunch of other girls we don't get their names of.
Yep.
And it's really funny because we don't, obviously Apu doesn't have kids yet.
Yep.
He's not married, doesn't have a wife. We all know that Sanjay has a wife.
Yep.
And apparently it's Sanjay's daughter. We're gonna go with that.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny. And they announce her and they say she's gonna be playing this random instrument thing. And Apu and Sanjay stand up in a cheer. And Marge asks him who's watching the Quickie Mart. Good question.
It's the other kid. Remember the episode where Apu leaves and puts the
little kid? Yeah, the little kid in charge with the shotgun.
Yeah.
Yeah. But apparently he failed that time because they got away with a squishy machine.
Yes.
So, but
by the way, also we don't see Apu with kids until season 11.
Yeah. Well, that's when he has his 8 kids and has Manjula and everything. Yeah. So, yeah, it's kind of funny that the little kid isn't in charge, 1. Or 2, if they didn't leave anyone in charge, why would you lock the Quickie Mart?
Because they were in a hurry to get to the beauty pageant?
Apparently.
don't forget, it's the bullies. They probably just broke in.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, it seemed like the glass sliding doors functioned as they, walked out. I mean, you had to physically turn those on. And
well, maybe they physically turned them on. They broke in, they turned on the doors, and they walked out.
I don't know. I think they just left it unlocked. I'll go with that one. And so I like how Krusty shows up late. It's like, he's late to his own pageant. He's like, is this the Republican fundraiser?
And we do learn later on that Krusty is a Republican.
Which is kind of weird. I feel like Krusty could be more democratic than just
I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe.
I get that The Simpsons, I know there's a few episodes in The Simpsons where they make fun of the Republican Party as well as the Democratic Party. So I kind of wish The Simpsons didn't really bring politics into it, but I guess they kind of had to. Otherwise, they were going to run out of ideas really quickly.
Yeah. And, I mean, you can kind of separate everyone in and out. And, I mean, obviously, we kind of get Burns and Sideshow Bob and a few of the other, people. But I guess Krusty wanted to join that crew. But see, I thought Sideshow Bob and Krusty were kind of on opposite spectrums.
Just because two people hate each other doesn't mean they can't agree on politics.
No. And so I like how Krusty is, fully dressed and his bow is tied. And then when he comes out onto the stage, his bow is untied. Which
it's a bow tie, not a bow.
Or bow tie, yeah. But he must have been tied horribly.
That or no, because somebody was backstage helping him. So I'm gonna go with that's an animation error.
No, it was tied horribly. It fell out when he got on stage because he was in a hurry. It's hard to tie. Have you ever tried to tie a bow tie?
Yeah, I just clip it to the ring.
Oh, okay. So it's a fake one. Got it. And so after the song, Krusty thumps his chest and says that the brisket he ate isn't sitting right.
That's some good brisket.
Oh, yeah. Andy's had a heart attack, so probably should be really eating fatty, good-ass meat, but,
Yeah, can't stay away from it.
Nope. And so we get to the talent portion of the competition, and Sanjay's daughter is playing her little bongo, whatever, Hindu instrument. And it must have been going on forever, because even Krusty was like, oh, thought that would never end. And, Apu and Sanjay stand up and all the cheer.
And all the rest of the parents are just like sitting there like falling asleep.
That must have been going on for a minute. Yeah. And so now we're backstage, and Lisa, puts a little bit of petroleum jelly on her teeth to give it that, frictionless smile that Bart suggested. Yep. And Homer's like, oh, takes a little taste of it and decides that he likes it. And then he just takes a giant handful and eat it. Now, it's not really jelly, folks. Don't be a Homer and eat petroleum jelly. Now, that being said,
I think technically petroleum jelly is okay to eat, but you probably shouldn't eat it.
Yeah, it does smell really good. I wouldn't eat it, but it definitely has a good smell to it.
Yeah. So now Lisa comes out and she starts singing "Oh Beautiful" or whatever I don't know what the actual name of the song is, but then she cuts into "Proud Mary," which was originally sung by Creedence CCR, Creedence Clearwater Revival.
There you go.
There's also a cover of the song that's really popular. And
everyone loves it. Everyone's like, holy crap, Lisa's amazing.
So then Krusty is trying to read his cue cards, but he can't because, illiterate. And so
why would they even have cue cards?
I don't know.
Don't they know that Krusty's illiterate?
Yeah. So like right before they announce the winner, Krusty mentions, oh, you remember what's her name? Click, click. Which, because that's as he is announcing the runner-up. This is a reference to Vanessa Williams, who had to resign as Miss America in 1984 after Penthouse magazine, of all publication sources, published photographs of her that were graphic in nature that were unauthorized. But she did get a public apology during the Miss America pageant in 2016, or the Miss America 2016 pageant in Why was it in 2015?
I don't know.
Maybe it was at the end of the year. Which she served as a head judge. So, if you're going to enter a beauty pageant, especially in today's age, try not to take graphic photos of yourself because you might get hacked. In this case, I don't think she was hacked because obviously it was the 90s.
It was 1984. There weren't computers that were, home computers.
How did Penthouse get those pictures?
It's called what are they called? The people that it's called paparazzi. They're big in the 80s and 90s.
They're still big nowadays too. Were they big in the 80s though?
They must. Yeah, I mean they've been big forever. I mean, how do you think all those magazines got a lot of their, Inquisitor photos and
Photoshop?
Yeah, right. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure, someone took, or it was on like a movie set, or I guess I've never seen the Vanessa Williams penthouse photo, so I don't know what the context of those photos were, but I'm sure they came from somewhere. But I like how you get pulled for something like that when it wasn't even your fault.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, and it's not even like, even in the 90s and even in the 2000s, actors and actresses will pose for Playboy and stuff because, I don't know.
But remember, this was unauthorized.
Exactly. So I don't know why you'd pull her winning. Like, why would they pull it if it wasn't even her? Like I said, it wasn't even her fault. It's not like she went out and did it on purpose.
Yeah, I don't know. So, as they're announcing the runner-up and the winner, we cut backstage and we see Homer has eaten all of the petroleum jelly. Man, he must have been hungry.
I mean,
I really like the petroleum jelly.
I mean, I guess I don't think, even if I ate like a real thing of like grape jelly or strawberry jelly, I don't think I could eat the entire bottle of it.
No.
That'd be a lot.
Like a big enough bottle. Yeah. So we get Lisa's announced as the runner-up. And then that means Amber Dempsey wins.
Yeah, it just means that. I like how he's like, and it's like, at least it's a runner-up. And just because that means Amber Dempsey's the winner. Like,
well, usually, so I've dabbled in watching only because they've been on my networks that I've worked at. And so I think what they do in beauty pageants is they announce the top three.
Oh, okay.
They announce third place, and then usually I believe they announce the winner, which then follows up to the runner-up. So in this case, they announced the final two, then announced the runner-up, which told us who the winner was.
Yep. And so Krusty is singing his song at the end of the pageant. L is for losers in her wake. I is for the income she will make. T is for tooth-filled mouth, and the other T is for her tooth-filled mouth.
I do like the fact that while Krusty is singing this horrible frickin' song, that the letters on the Little Miss Springfield sign that's on the stage light up as he's singing it.
I must have missed that. I guess I was paying attention to the song as opposed to that.
See, you gotta look in the background. Also, this is definitely an animation mistake, I'm assuming.
So yeah.
While Krusty is singing, we only see Amber and Lisa on stage, but then as Lisa walks away and we cut to her walking away, the rest of the girls are on stage.
Yep.
So somebody screwed up, or maybe it was just really hard to draw everybody. So like, okay, nobody on stage, everybody on stage.
Or they took a a couple cells from them on stage and just overlaid them into the image just to make that but it does seem kind of weird to have literally no one and then everyone.
So now we're back at the Simpsons house and they're watching TV, and coming up next, a new fad that is sweeping the nation: wasting food. I don't think that's really sweeping the nation, especially even in the early 90s. I think that's really just been a thing of America. It's what we do.
Now, wasn't that in the I guess 90s was really big for helping third world countries. Like, it was huge.
Yeah.
Like going to Africa and doing all that stuff.
I remember in camp, at summer camp, we kind of did a thing about wasting food. And,
yep.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
So yeah, wasting, I guess especially in the 90s, wasting food kind of became a thing. So then we cut to a segment where Little Miss Springfield is opening up a new Danish store called Shop, and it has a little O with a slash in it. And
is it like IKEA for Danish people?
I guess. I don't know. We never get to see the inside of the Shop.
I know. That's what I was thinking. I think it was, okay, when did IKEA, I know IKEA's been around for a while. I wonder when IKEA made it to America from Sweden.
I have no idea. So while Steve does some research, so now we cut to Kent Brockman, who shows us the Duff blimp, and we cut inside the blimp, and Barney's like, hey, can I drive this? And the pilot's like, I don't see the harm. Really? Really? Yes, Barney, who's an alcoholic. You don't see the harm? I guess maybe the pilot doesn't know who Barney is. So,
no, but he was clearly drunk.
He was clearly drunk. So, Barney takes over and he crashes the blimp, and Kent Brackman screams, oh, the humanity. And this is the exact same line that Herbert Morrison, the host of the WLS Chicago radio, said when the Hindenburg airship exploded in 1937.
Yeah, but what happened to Barney and the pilot? How did they not die in explosion, a fiery death of destruction?
Maybe the pilot grabbed Barney and they jumped out and they parachuted out.
I don't know. I feel like they weren't wearing parachutes when the crash happened, so
I don't know. Maybe they were far enough. Maybe they jumped out and grabbed the radio antenna they crashed into.
Maybe. Okay, so I got some stuff for you guys. Okay, so IKEA was first became a store in 1943.
Okay.
In Sweden, and then it opened in Norway, Denmark, Switzerland, so West Germany. So they opened up a lot of European stuff. It didn't come to America until 1985. That was when the first store opened in America.
36 years.
Yep. So it's been here a bit now. I don't see what it doesn't give me what state, but my guess would be like California, New York, probably.
Yeah.
One of those bigger cities. So I mean, and then realistically, they really didn't start opening up tons and more shops until really recently. Because I know we got one in Wisconsin, we got one in Minnesota. This was 2001-ish was like the first year that it opened up here. So I could see Springfield getting, I mean, must have been big in the 90s for them opening up a couple IKEA type shops. And so I think Springfield's like, oh, let's get on this random craze of IKEA's opening in America. We'll call it this a Danish shop.
Yeah.
So that would be my take on it.
Sure.
And so it starts raining, and Marge is worried about, they're just watching this on TV. It starts raining, and they're worried about the dress getting ruined. And
Marge is worried about that.
Fair point. But Lisa is worried about the scepter acting as a lightning rod, which it does.
So here's the thing. We see Lisa being smart.
Yes. Yeah.
It bugs me. Continue.
Yes. So after the lightning strike, Lisa is now announced Little Miss Springfield, and Marge is standing beside her was this at the school or the courthouse? I feel like it was at the school, right?
This was at their house.
At their house. Yep. Yeah, you're right. And with a somber look on her face, wearing a pink Chanel dress, which she doesn't have yet. She gets it when she joins the country club. Was it the same dress? Actually, I didn't even know. Didn't look too. I knew it was a pink dress. It was like, the Jacqueline Kennedy, standing behind Lyndon B. Johnson on Air Force One during the emergency inauguration in 1963. But how close did that dress look to Marge's pink Chanel dress from that episode? Was it not too close?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Not a clue.
I wonder if they brought it back. Maybe this was the dress she wore in this episode, and it got put to the discount shop, and then Marge found the dress again.
Maybe.
Ooh. I don't know. Probably not. So Lisa is crowned Little Miss Springfield. And Krusty starts handing over the scepter, but he does the whole. Remember when I actually saw this episode recently on FX, where it was the Homer becoming a clown, graduating clown college. He does a thing where he hands the scepter and pulls it away, but he hands the diploma and pulls it away with Homer at the thing. So this is definitely a Krusty thing to do. And then a couple more times, and then it's struck by lightning. And he's like, I deserve that. Yeah. Don't make fun of little kids, and don't hold metal objects in lightning storms. Yeah. It won't end well. So then we learn Springfield has a wax museum, and Lisa gets her own wax sculpture. and which doesn't look like Lisa because the torso used to be Dr. Ruth's head, which is
no. The torso used to be Dr. Ruth's, whose head is on a pike in a chamber of horrors, along with Mr. T and Ronald Reagan. I mean, and their heads. It's just their heads.
Yeah, I mean, I get. Well, I don't know. Maybe Reagan and Dr. Ruth. Dr. Ruth. I don't know. I thought everyone.
No, Dr. Ruth isn't a. It's just a joke.
But why would they be in the Chamber of Horrors?
Because it's a joke.
But what's the joke?
I'm gonna be Annie McElfresh right now and tell you it's a joke.
Yes, I know that, but what is the joke? Do you know the joke?
It's the Chamber of Horrors. It's heads on a pike. That's the joke.
But wouldn't you put horrible people in the Chamber of Horrors?
No, it's heads on a pike.
So it has nothing to... Well, there has to be something with who they are. They wouldn't have chosen... No. Why would they choose... Then why did they choose those three people?
Because it's funny.
No.
Because two of those people aren't horrible people. The third one kind of was. It's a joke. It's a Chamber of Horrors. What does Chamber of Horrors have? Heads on a pike.
Yeah, but why wouldn't it be like Richard Nixon and Hitler and someone else?
Who would have a Hitler wax sculpture
or head? Someone who wants to put it on a pike in the Chamber of Horrors. Duh.
It's the Chamber of Horrors. It's just pikes on a head. You're overthinking it.
No, I'm not. There has to be a reason for the people they chose.
No, there doesn't have to be a reason.
Yeah, there does. So anyway, we cut back to school and, Lisa's, getting ogled by all the boys because she is now a pageant winner and she's gorgeous and all the boys, are ogling her and, we see Ralph in a pea green shirt.
It's not his normal blue. I'm going to go with that's an animation error.
Animation error, or maybe the writers or maybe not the writers, maybe the artists were like, people in Springfield don't have to wear the same outfits. I mean,
no, it's an animation error.
Or he's a background character that doesn't have to wear the same outfit. Like the main characters, I kind of get, but the background characters maybe don't have to wear the same.
No, animation error
all the time. No,
it's an animation error.
Once again, you're wrong. Anyway. So Lisa thinks she's welcoming people to America, but they're actually getting deported. Now,
yeah, we cut to a scene where, she's doing her duties with Krusty and, she's like, oh, welcome to America. And Chris is like, they're getting deported.
Yeah. Now the one thing, we all know that Springfield does have a harbor of some sort.
Which is weird.
Which is, well, I mean, you could be like, look, people like cities with lakes have ports. I mean, look at Lake Michigan.
But here's the thing. If they're getting deported, they wouldn't have a boat. They would be getting into cars or vans.
Because they're landlocked. That's the assumption is that they're landlocked.
Yes.
But, yeah. I mean, if we're still thinking Utah, then they would have to be...
Maybe they're not in Utah anymore.
But then that would mean that they would have to be on an ocean. You know what I mean? You're not deporting someone from Wisconsin to Michigan, or maybe you are. I mean, maybe that's a good punishment, deporting them from Wisconsin to Michigan. Who knows?
Theoretically, Michigan to Toronto.
Yep. So you could be deporting them to Canada, but then that would have to push this to like a Montana or a Washington
but those are all landlocked. Well, Washington isn't landlocked.
No. So it could be like a are we saying, but no. Wisconsin's not technically landlocked. They just have a boat to another. You could boat to another country. You know what I mean?
Not from Wisconsin.
Yeah. You just go up Lake Michigan and then, right?
That goes to the UP, not Canada.
No? There's no border of Canada off of Lake Michigan?
I don't think so.
Really? I thought there was at least a little bit of touching, no? Maybe not. I thought there was at least a little bit of touching at the top.
No, because that's all the UP going into Minnesota. Technically, I guess technically you could go into Canada from Lake Superior.
Yep. Is there a
Wisconsin
gap? Is there a gap?
What?
Between Michigan and Wisconsin at the top. Is there a gap?
Yeah, you can go onto Lake Superior from Wisconsin and go into Canada.
So so then the Simpsons would have to live in very northern Wisconsin.
But the problem with that is they don't have mountains up there.
No, there's no Slate Mountain ranges or hills or anything up there.
There's hills, but there's no mountains.
No mountains. All right. So in Utah, though, there is a pretty significant lake in northern Utah.
Does it connect to
nothing? I mean, unless you take the rivers, a riverboat. Oh, yeah. So theoretically, you could get to Canada riding the rivers.
I'm not. No, at that point, you're going to take a train.
Oh no! Or you could get down to Mexico from the river. You could take the river. I think that's probably the Colorado River that goes all the way down to the Gulf of California into Mexico.
But you're going to take a train or a bus. You're not going to take it on the river.
Maybe.
No. You're wrong.
No. They deport people by boat in Springfield.
No, they would take a bus.
Oh, are you sure?
Very positive.
You know everything. So then we get the USO show at Fort Springfield, and Bob Hope is invited, which in the 90s, probably the 80s too, I would like to imagine that he was really big in the USO circuit. Where he'd fly around, do all the comedy and all that stuff. And he's performing at Fort Springfield. He's like, who's the mayor of this place? And they say, Mayor Quimby. Oh, good. And so, hello, this is Bob. What the hell am I doing in Springfield, Hope? Hey, how about that Mayor Quimby? He's some golfer. His golf balls spend more time in the water than Greg Louganis. But that was Bob Hope's big shtick, is comparing people's, golf game to other things. Like, for whatever reason, that just became the Bob Hope shtick. Yeah. Yep. And so then we get a guy, the guys in the audience, and they're like, and then they invite Lisa on stage, and they're like, oh, I thought we were getting Miss Springfield, not Little Miss Springfield. And we see the guy who's talking about saying Tony Randall was canceled has the same voice as Snake.
It's really weird.
Oh my God. I was like, come on. You couldn't get either just another random voice actor or change his tone in any. Why did he have to be Snake? I mean, I don't know. I don't know off the top of my head who does Snake, but he does so many voices anyways that I'm sure he could have come up with something. It didn't have to be Snake, but you get what you get. And so everyone starts trashing the stage, which just another Springfield event that the stage gets trashed. And so Bob Hope and Lisa get away on a helicopter.
Although Bob Hope is like hanging from the bar that lands on the not the ladder, the little bar that's on the helicopter.
That's a good way for him to get away, I guess.
Yes.
And so now Laramie Cigarettes wants to use Lisa for their ad campaign, which Lisa's not very happy about.
No, and so they're like, well, we kind of have to retire Menthol Moose, who is a Joe Camel knockoff, clearly.
Yep. But is it a real moose, or is it a guy in a costume?
Did you just ask if it was a real moose?
Okay. I was going to go with it's going to be a guy in a costume until he spit.
A guy in a costume can't spit?
Have you ever tried spitting in a mascot helmet? It'll land inside the costume. There's not a hole. It's like a screen that... Dude, I think it's a real moose. And look, he's walking down the street. Mascots can't grip and throw things either.
Yeah, they can. Yes.
I don't know.
They can absolutely throw things.
I think it's a real moose.
I think you're high.
That being the case, I think he's still a moose.
I think no. So we get the parade and Homer's saluting and Marge is like, Marge tells Homer those aren't army men. He's like, yeah, they're ice cream men. What parade is this?
It's for Lisa. It's like her inauguration parade.
I don't think so, because there's a Santa Claus float.
Dude, there's a lot of random things at parades sometimes.
Like, it's a weird parade. So, they're throwing out cigarette packs to the crowd because, Laramie, and then kids start smoking them. This doesn't bother, it kind of bothers Lisa, but then she sees Maggie take a cigarette, take out her pacifier, and suck on a cigarette, which Lisa sees, and she has the float stop, which is when we see Santa Claus crash into her float.
It's like, what's the holdup?
And so, the moose falls over. She knocks over like the big Laramie cigarette box that's on her float and crushes the moose mascot. And
the moose man?
The moose man. So she doesn't want to, promote cigarettes anymore. And so she goes to a football game to complain about how the funds are going to football instead of the arts. And I love how the nerds are like, oh, let's get them. And they chase the players off the field. And it's just a really weird thing because they're football players in pads and a helmet.
Yeah.
Why would the players be afraid of the nerds?
Because they're Have you ever seen Revenge of the Nerds?
Yeah, but they were trying to attack them, not pull pranks.
Maybe they just recently saw Revenge of the Nerds and they're like, oh no, the nerds.
Although, as we see, we get a paper headline and Queen to Mayor, you're next. And a sub-headline, nerds pummeled in football melee.
Yep.
So I don't understand why we saw the football players running away.
Maybe they were confused because they are football players.
Maybe. So now we have Mayor Quimby meeting with Krusty and Chief Wiggum, who the mayor calls Wiggum incompetent, basically. And they want to get rid of Lisa as Little Miss Springfield because, Laramie probably paid him to try to get rid of her.
I can see why Mayor Quimby would need to meet with Krusty and probably Laramie. But what the hell's Wiggum even doing there? Besides begging for potato chips and then dip for said potato chips.
Well, actually, Laramie comes in and says, they found the solution to all their problems. And so we get a news segment with Kent Brockman talking about Lisa getting stripped of her title because the picture Homer wrote in a space that says "do not write" in he wrote "okay." Why would that get you disqualified?
Because he wrote in the space.
I don't know.
Oh my God, that is so. Well, it's like a lot of. Okay, so I'm sure you filled out a lot of government forms or stuff like that where it says this space is meant for But that is amazing. That is so awesome that Homer wrote okay.
Yeah. He was saying all right, but I love when so Kent Brockman is talking about it. And they show a video of a goat drinking milk out of a bottle.
Oh, it's instead so cute.
Of also whoever that director is should get yelled at. And so Lisa's not mad at Homer, and Lisa asks Homer if he remembers why he put her in the pageant in the first place. And Homer goes, I don't know. How do you not remember? I mean, I guess it's Homer and he's
he said if he was I possibly drunk?
And Lisa goes, possibly.
Yeah.
Probably.
Well, he was he was drinking at Moe's when he came up with the idea to do the pageant.
But I feel like it was the next day that he put her in, and he knew about the pageant. So I mean, it's possible he was drunk when he thought of the idea, but then he still remembered post-drunk clarity. And so Lisa reminds Homer he did it to make her feel better about herself, and Homer's like, "Well, do you?" And she goes, "Yes," which is good, I guess. Self-confidence. And I love how Homer asked her to remember this the next time he messes up her life. She's like, okay.
Well, we all know Homer will probably mess up her life again. And Homer's like, hey, look, I know how to make you feel better. Just remember that.
So then we cut back to Brockman, who's talking about how the next up my interview with the Pope, and the same video of the goat drinking milk comes up. So Kent, so underneath that, Kent gives up, he leaves, he's like, I'm out of here. And somebody must be like, well, who's going to do the news? He's like, I don't care, get the weekend guy. I'm going to McDougal's. And this is so funny because, first of all, I don't remember too many times in local news where an anchor is going to get up because they're pissed because the same video is getting played. However, I have gotten yelled at for accidentally messing up, mind you. And
did you play a goat drinking
I did
milk?
not. No, I actually went to black by accident, which is even worse, to be honest. But I feel like the anchor is gonna get like a stern talking to. Plus, nobody's really there probably to back him up. It's hilarious.
I like how he says to call the weekend guy. Is the weekend guy that much worse than the normal anchor?
No, usually the weekend anchor is also a reporter during the week.
Oh, gotcha.
So
have you ever played the wrong video?
Yes, numerous times. On an accident, though, not on purpose. Never been on purpose.
Have you ever played the same video twice on accident?
No. Usually at that point, the system is not going to allow it unless I do. So doing it the first time, an accident. Doing it a second time is definitely on purpose.
You should totally do that one day.
I will do it on the last day I ever work in television.
Okay.
And even then I might not be able to do it because they'll be like, it's your last day. No, you're not going to push this button.
Okay. I know it would be a hard pull. I know it would be a hard pull, and I know only probably a minuscule amount of people would get it. But if you do this as a prank or something, it has to be a goat drinking a bottle of milk.
I will put, if I get to edit on my last day of the job, I will edit a piece of video of a goat drinking from a milk bottle as a just very quick cut that they'll still have to write out as a mistake, and I won't care because it'll be my last day.
Yes, and I would love how like some news programs, like you ever see some, oh, this happened in Florida or this happened, it's like, and this got aired on. I would love that would go viral or something. I would actually make it go viral. You would have to send me a copy of that recording. I would post it in like one of our Simpsons groups and see if I can make it go viral. That would be absolutely hilarious.
All right, folks. If I get to edit video or do that, well, the problem is if I'm directing and I'm punching up video, I'm probably not going to be able to put goat video on the air, but if I'm editing, I could probably make it happen.
All right, guys, you hear to hear first. If we can make this happen, this will be the best Simpsons joke ever done live for a program.
Anyways, so I don't like this episode.
No, it's not my favorite. Definitely not my favorite.
The whole Lisa not understanding how a character works, but understanding that a metal scepter is going to be a lightning rod, it doesn't mesh well. Don't get me wrong, some of the jokes are great. Homer playing with a pickle because he can't take a blimp ride. The whole thing at the end with Brockman. It's just, I don't know. It's a 2. Eat my shorts.
Yeah.
No. Plus, I guess also to me as a male, beauty pageant doesn't really speak to me.
Yeah.
But the other problem is the biggest issue I have is at the carnival, Milhouse going into Jimbo's Scream Shack or whatever. Okay, Milhouse making that mistake, fine. However, clearly not part of the carnival. I wouldn't go in there. You know the name of the bully, but then not telling Bart not to go in there. I get it, it's a joke, but it doesn't really. I don't know. It's a 2. Eat my shorts.
All right.
I'm moving on.
Yeah, no. I mean, I can't go that bad. I'm gonna go 3. Don't have a cowman. I think the jokes are funny. I think Bart acting like he wants to be in the beauty pageant is really funny. I think everything after Lisa's win, or not win, but runner up, like everything post that, I just didn't like. Like it just, I could have that could have been changed in quite a few different ways.
Don't get me wrong. Like, as I said earlier, I feel like this is a good episode, even in this day and age, in terms of inclusivity and not really making a joke of the LGBTQ community. I think it works really good. You know, Bart is very comfortable in what he does.
Yeah.
So in that aspect, yes, it's good. My problem is everything else.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say it's, god awful. Like, I mean, there's still some funny jokes.
I wouldn't give it a 1.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the jokes, it would definitely be a 1, but the jokes make it a 2.
Yeah. And then the fact that Homer didn't get to ride in his blimp, that's just super sad to me.
Yes.
I mean, it's also the other thing. Like, he doesn't have money to enter Lisa in the pageant, but they have money.
He does.
Well, Barney's money.
Because he sold the blimp ticket to
to pay for the cost of the entry. Yeah, but okay, that's enough of our final thoughts. I'm gonna go 3.
We're moving on.
Don't have a cow man, because
I'm going to have a cow man.
You're gonna have a cow man. All right. So let's end it with our character profile. Like always, we have the very lovely, very beautiful, always winning pageants, Amber Dempsey. And we didn't mention it at the top of the show, but I'll mention it now. She was guest voiced by Leona Williams.
I have no idea who that is.
So she was in such movies as Drop Dead Gorgeous, which
never saw it.
I've only seen it because of Shay. But
I've heard of it, never seen it.
So she was a beauty pageant contestant in that movie. She was also in Sugar and Spice, if you guys remember that movie from 2001. Where the cheerleaders robbed a bank. Don't remember that one?
Oh, I've never watched it.
Okay.
But now that you say it, I do remember it.
Yeah. So, but the other fun thing about it is she's from the Rosemont, Minnesota. And I think wasn't she the one that we talked about back in Mr. Lisa Goes to Washington? Wasn't she like the voice guest for the person from Rosemont?
Yeah, I believe you're right.
Like, I think that's...
Well, is that not in her acting credits?
No. Leona Williams. She was...
okay.
She also voiced in that. So, she's a repeat Simpson voice8 Now, it's funny because that one, they actually talked about her life from Rosemont. Yeah. And this one, she talked about her acting career, her being a contestant in a beauty pageant. So...
Yeah.
No, I recognize her photo. Like, I was just looking at her photo. I recognize her. So good for her for being a comeback voice actor for this one. Her vocation, professional junior Miss Beauty pageant participant, considered the Jack Nicklaus of the pageant circuit. Her appearance, curly blonde hair, fluttery eyelashes that make swishing sounds when she blinks, and a glittery smile. Her threads of choice, sequined sailor suit, and a fur coat. And the estimated cost of her dimples is $5,000 a piece.
Jesus Christ, on a bike.
Oof. That's some plastic surgery there. Yep. And her secret shame, her eyelashes are implants. Don't tell anyone. Gasp. I know. So, all right, guys. Well... We all know that Amber Dempsey is a beautiful pageant cheater, and we all know Lisa Simpson is gorgeous in her own way. So let's close it out where everyone can find us. You can find us on all the social medias, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You can find us on YouTube. Watch all of our older videos on there of our podcast. If you'd like to donate to our podcast, go to buymeacoffee.com/Simpsons Did It Pod. Feel free to donate on there. We're giving away stickers for all of our people who donate. So donate and get some free stickers. Well, not really free because you're helping, but you know what I mean. So until next time, I'm Steven Skolansky.
I'm your co-host, Robert Skolansky.
And this has been The Simpsons Did It.
Shh.